just getting so cheap, and trying to just take advantage of the little guys. So, like I said, just feel like we just stuck on Gilligan's Island, and this government and out here in America ain't gonna save you, man. So we gotta save ourselves, man. You know, and I think about history, and I remember some of the stories they tell in history. They mention that every time, the people got completely fed up with their government, they'll overthrow that rulership or that government. So that means a lot. That tells you a little story about how things work there because we have more power than we think as just regular people, just regular citizens here. We have way more power here because, again, like I mentioned, the government is made up as the people, originally. The Congress was the actual citizens, and I think we should go back to that, as a pie in the sky. What if we did, do something like that? What if because we really don't need governors. We don't need senators. We don't need a Congress because, like I said, we are the Congress as citizens, and we should think more as a unified Congress, as the people. And with that, it makes me think about that shirt I was showing you, because all those fish they came together, with all of their differences and all of the problems that they may have had individually with each other, they all came together. And like I said, with that picture there, it made me think about a little story behind that picture there, because like I said, these fish probably got so tired of just getting ate up by these sharks there, having their loved ones, get ate up and get killed, under this shark there that don't care. It just unrelentingly, just taking them out, slowly. So they finally came together, with all their problems there and all of their differences that they may have had. They came together and they built something big enough and strong enough and more powerful than even the great white shark. And all of these fish started to take out, these sharks. And I think if we work together as citizens, we could do the same thing. You know, like I said, we have more power than we think. You know, so what if we did? What if we did start running our own cities and states there? Because like I said, we don't need a governor. We don't need a senator because one man, one person can be corrupted. I don't care how nice they might make themselves up to be, and how they might change themselves and look like they're so innocent and so sweet and so nice and so caring and giving. They can still be corrupted. I don't care what you say, how you may put it, and that you're so righteous and you have a clean slate and all this stuff. It don't matter because everybody has, a vice and everybody has weaknesses, but you can't corrupt the whole. You can't corrupt a one body of one people that's working together for their own stuff, their own states and their own cities there. You can't corrupt that. So we should think about that. You know. So and we can still have the president. The president still stay there, but he'll be just like his title is. He'll be the commander in chief of the military. He controls the military and what we do on the when it comes to other countries. But we run our own country. And that's something to think about, man. Because again, we got senators and we got people that's been in this office here for 30, 40 years there, and they never move. They just stay there, and they don't have our best interests at heart. I don't care what you say. They can still be corrupted because everybody want to be rich and everybody want to live lavish, and everybody has weaknesses and vices. But you can't corrupt the people, and that's how this country was originally supposed to be designed to be. So what if we go back to history and go back to how this was originally supposed to be formed here in America? You know, so that's something to think about, man. You know, things that make you go, hmm. You know, so man, I appreciate everybody. And I'd like for everybody, if you enjoying, the show, I like it, for you guys to kind of come in and tune in with me and leave some comments for me. Let me know. And if you don't have to agree, you don't have to like it, but it'd be nice to read a comment, on some of what you hear on some of this stuff there, and so I can get your input on some of this stuff there. But I want everybody to have a good night and take care, y'all. All right. Ugh.